talk real quick, and we'll just go division by division. We've already done a couple, including the NFC East. Let's go to the NFC South. Proppy, I want to start with you because I did something for SportsLine, for TikTok, for the SportsLine universe, where I actually broke down Atlanta's win total. And I was surprised when I kind of looked at it. I was surprised at myself that I had them with a bunch of wins. So when I see this NFC South division, to me, it's the Falcons or nothing. But perhaps you see value in some of these plus numbers down the board. Where do we start in picking an NFC South division winner?
Yeah, I think Atlanta obviously went out and upgraded the quarterback position, which is for the past few years we've seen what it's looked like with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke and Marcus Mariota under center. So certainly that does improve Atlanta's chances some, but I'm not overly impressed with Atlanta's roster, frankly. I think the minus 120, to me, that this is a much more even race in this division. I think if we look at Atlanta's defense, I still think there's major question marks on the defense. And frankly, I just don't think they deserve to be such an overwhelming favorite in this division. And they're just frankly very unproven. I think the Bucs still have a very talented roster. We saw Baker Mayfield really play well down the stretch. I think their defense, they own the best defense in the division. I would even argue their offense isn't far behind Atlanta's right now. I also think the Saints, they have some veteran players, and they've been a solid 8-win team. And I even look at the Panthers as a potential value at plus 12-1 odds here. I think we could see a big jump from Bryce Young. I really like what they did in the offseason, committing a lot of resources to improving the offensive line, protecting Bryce Young, giving him some weapons. They drafted a good rookie running back, gave him some help at receiver as well. Deontay Johnson from Pittsburgh. And I also think they made some good moves on defense. So I don't think there's a lot of value, especially at this price point for Atlanta. I'd look at these other three teams as potential value spots, starting with the Bucs. And I like the Panthers, honestly, as a long shot as well.
Mike, it's hard for me to look away from Atlanta. I do think we're going to see some regression perhaps from Baker Mayfield, but Proppy makes some good points. It's still an all-around good team. They proved themselves last year. I'm kind of personally writing off the Saints. I don't like Derek Carr. I just don't like this roster in general. Where are you? Is there something that sticks out to you in the NFC South?
The thing that sticks out is this is the worst division in the NFL by far this season. When I look at these teams across the board, I think that Atlanta is probably the best team, probably has the most talent on paper. Would I lay minus 120? Absolutely not. I think that number, you should be getting it around plus 200. I think it should be a division that is essentially relatively even across the board, and even that Panthers number coming down just a little bit. But I do like little things about Tampa and New Orleans, which is why I think that these games in this division are ultimately going to be competitive. We're going to be looking at games with spreads around 2.5 to 3 in pretty much every one of these games. When you look at the New Orleans side, you could get a healthy Alvin Kamara. You could have Taysom Hill out there. And just the way they play, the style of play, they can have competitive football games. So I do think Atlanta is the best team on paper. I am not betting them. And I frankly think that you could probably get Atlanta at a better number in season if you wanted to bet this, as the season progresses. But they're the best team, no value in betting it for me.